Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I want to start my first video series. My plan is to cover one line of tanks per series and give you my thoughts on each as we go along. This first series is going to be my attempt at a guide for new players because I've been asked a couple of times what tank line new players should go down first. As always, the content of these videos is going to be purely my opinion, so don't take anything as fact. Alright, let's jump straight in. In the background here, I have logged into my Rikitikitave USA account, which I've never used to play tanks before. So hopefully, as a new player, what you're seeing now on screen is very similar to what you have in your own garage. The first tank line I would recommend for any new player is the single shot American medium line. Before I get into talking about the first two lower tier tanks, I think we need to go over the economy that's present within the game. Every game you play earns silver, the in-game currency, and straight away you will need 500,000 to purchase your first tank commander. Before you purchase a tank commander, every tank you take out is basically commander free. You don't have the ability to add skills because you don't have a commander. Now, we need to earn 500,000 silver to get a commander, and there are various ways you can do this. If you're the type of person who immediately doesn't want to spend a penny on this game, then you can earn your way to your first 500,000 simply by playing the game and saving all of your earnings. This is a perfectly viable option. There is a Unicum in the Ricky clan who has never spent a penny on the game, so that right there is proof that it can be done. If you're the type of person though who doesn't mind spending a small amount of cash on the game, I would recommend the following. If you spend £9.45, 3,000 gold will be added to your account. This will take your total gold up to 3,200 because Wargaming gives all new players 200 gold to kick things off. With this new currency, you have a couple of options. You can either convert 1,250 of this gold into 500,000 silver that you need for your commander, or you can purchase yourself 2 premium tanks that have high silver boosts by default. Given we are setting off down the American medium line, I would suggest either the M4A2 E4 or the M14. They are 1,500 gold each, so you could purchase both, or if you want to hold on to some of your gold, you can just purchase one of them. Now, I'm going to caveat all of this by saying the only reason I recommend these tanks is purely based on their silver boost and their nation. Nation is important because if you're going down the American line, you'll want an American premium tank so that you can transfer your crews between the tank you're grinding and your premium tank without an extra cost. That's purely the reason why I'm recommending those two tanks. The M4A2 E4 comes with a 59% silver boost, and the M14 comes with a 62% silver boost. The only warning I would give at this point is to say that these tanks are tier 5. If you feel that jumping into tier 5 is taking on too much, then you have another option. The Locust is a tier 3 premium tank that costs only 900 gold, and it comes with a 57% silver boost. I have a Locust and I absolutely love it, but the reason I haven't recommended it straight away is because it's a different play style. It's a light tank, and for now we are focusing on medium tanks. The American medium line is not only what I would call the jack of all trades line, but it is also very historical and a good line to learn the basics of the game. We're going to focus on the M2 medium and the HMC M8. Looking at the tech tree here, you'll notice that the M3 Lee is also an option should you wish to play this line. You are more than welcome to play the M3 Lee. Absolutely anyone can do it, but I don't think it will take you long to understand why we are not going to play this one. And I think as soon as you start playing it, you'll realise, yeah, this is why I'm not playing this tank. So, in my opinion, save your silver and your sanity by playing the HMC M8. Okay, let's jump into these tanks and see what they are like to play. The first tip I would pass on to any new player is this. You want to save your health, your hit points, as much as possible. You can do this by not making yourself a target. Don't drive out into the open and expose yourself. Stick to cover as much as possible and shoot from cover as much as possible. If you can master this at the low tiers, you are well on your way to becoming a great World of Tanks player. At this point, I think it's necessary to mention that in order to buy the M2, the tank that you're seeing here, you'll need to earn 31,000 silver just to buy it. So that can be done by just playing the game or by converting gold like we've already covered. So here we are on mines, and the first thing I've done is push a flank and find cover that I can shoot from. The configuration I've got on this tank at the moment is I'm using what is called the derp gun. It's a very stubby, short little gun that fires high explosive rounds. And you're probably noticing here that even though I'm getting direct hits, I'm not doing all that much damage to the opposing tank. Now that is largely to do with the tier. We are at tier 3, so we can't expect to do too much damage, but normally you'd expect to do a little bit more than the sort of 50 damage that I'm doing here. But it's down to the nature of high explosive rounds. And that particular tank, that I think it's a JS, Panzer JS, or so it's a premium German tank, and it's very well armoured. But playing it safe here, sitting behind cover, I'm looking at the minimap in the top left, and I can see that we have a medium that's pushed all the way down on the right side of the map. And something I'm learning to do better is to not be such a hothead, I suppose is what you could call it. It's don't be too aggressive. Sit and wait. Be patient. Let them make the mistakes. And you can, the sooner you can learn this way of playing, the more valuable it will be, and the more enjoyable your game experience will be later on. Now, a tactic I am using here is I'm using my high explosive round to track this guy in the open, in the hope that my team will take advantage of his vulnerable position and kill him like they have just done. So that's not direct damage for me, but in top right there you can see it says damage assist. And we've taken out artillery as well. So still from cover, the team is pushing up, but I'm using them to spot the targets that I then shoot. Now that we've taken out all of the tanks that I can see in my immediate view range, I push up because I know that if I push down the one line here, you can get very good flanking shots on anyone that is still towards the center and their spawn area in the map. It takes time to learn all of these positions, and this is an example here. So where that Panzer was, I think it's a German variant of a French tank, I forget the name, but he wasn't sitting in a bad location. Where he was sitting was fairly normal for south spawn on this map. That's what I would have done. I would have pushed up to that area, but because I flanked, it meant that he was exposed, and that's why this side of the map can be very beneficial to play, especially when your team has the advantage. Or rather, I say the advantage. It's still quite a close game at this point. Coming all the way down to almost the very bottom of the map, the boundary is just there on the right. Pushing up into the centre, because I know there are 2 tank destroyers just up here that are on very low health, and they're also very poorly armoured, which means I can get the maximum damage output from the high explosive rounds that this gun fires. He's just around the corner. There he is. Zoom in to make sure I don't miss, because yep, it happens. If you're not careful, you still miss. Now there's only 2 tanks left. There's one. Second one shot me from through that bush there. Panzer 3J, that's the name of the tank. It's a premium tank, and I think you can get it for free. But it's got very, very good armour. It's one to be wary of. So another sort of tactic I'm using here is I'm playing the tank as what they would call hull down. The only thing I'm exposing is the turret of my tank, which gives that Panzer very, very little to shoot back at. And that's the game over. And we've won. And to add to that, we get MVP as well. I'm not a great player. I wouldn't claim to be a great player, but every now and then I do get a decent game. And on a game like that, you can see you get 23,000 if you've got premium, and the 13,000 if you're running a regular account. There's the first class mastery, and we came top. So there you go. That's the M2 medium. It's a nice little tank. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy that little tank. But now we're straight in to the HMC M8. This one is similar. You have to play this one from cover as well, because it doesn't have armor. But learning to play as if you don't have armor anyway is a sensible thing to do, and that's what mediums can teach you. It's the mindset of not relying on your armor to save you. Your positioning and angling is what you should rely on to keep you alive. Exposing yourself and trying to bounce things with your armor is sort of a last resort, I would say. So on this map, this is Abbey, and I am pushing all the way across to my favourite line on this map, which is the 8 line. I like this line because you can guarantee the enemies will be straight ahead of you, and you're less likely to be flanked. And if you are flanked, they're going to come from directly behind you, so it's 2 directions to engage, front and behind, for the most part. Coming up to these wrecked tanks here, this is where I stop, because I know that I've got cover, and I can shoot anyone that comes down in the opposite direction. Now, our little light tank has spotted them. They're a bit further up than I expected them to be, and that's a moment of indecision there. I wasn't sure if I should push up all the way to support or stay back here, and that's where I spot this guy coming up. Panzer 4D. Same again. Use cover to protect myself, and let him make the mistakes. Let this guy make the mistakes. So he's fired and missed, and I pulled out to reload. Hide in cover. Unfortunately there, his return shot missed, and I took him out. The gun that I'm using on this tank at the moment is, I failed to remember it, but I'll put it on screen here to let you guys know what gun I'm using. But there is an HE derp gun to use on this one as well, but I'm not using that because this gun as you can see, is very, very good. Again, I'm still playing from cover. I'm doing what I can to minimize how much of my vehicle is exposed to the enemy. The only downside here is you can probably hear it and see it. Artillery is putting shots in on my location. So I'm pulling up to this rock where I know artillery can't hit me. And this guy is distracted by the little light tank there. He's just gone down, but fortunately he was distracted enough for me to put a couple of shots in, and I've taken him out. I'm spotted still, so I'm hiding. I remain behind the rock there because I know that if artillery is watching me, they'll see me as long as my little light bulb, sixth sense, is activated or active. As soon as that disappears, I know they can't see me and it's safe to pull out of the cover that I was hiding behind. Now, if I could recall correctly, the trajectory of their shots meant that they were sitting in either A8 or towards the back of their capture area. And there you go. I did remember correctly. Taking out artillery. That's always satisfying to take out a red square. Cautious though, because I know there's a second one. I don't have much armor, and artillery can do a lot of damage to you if you're in one of these vehicles and you've got no armor. That's why it's always best to play as if you have no armor. Play safe, play sensibly. I'm coming around here because I know this is where I like to hide when I'm playing artillery, so I check that spot because it's a good little spot. Not many people do check that corner, but he's not there. Our friendly light tank spots him, takes him out, and now it's a case of, well, I'm on the other side of the map, and there's no way I'm going to chase down the remaining two tanks. And this is where I decide to just sit on the cap and wait for the game to play out. While we're here waiting for this game to end, I thought it would be a good time to, well, I can make use of this time to say that this series is going to be about showing you what these vehicles can do and how I think they should be played. I'm not really going to go into the specifications and details of each. I'm just going to show you why I think they're the best for new players to play, or in my opinion why I think they're the best. And there we are, game's over, we've got MVP again, and gold Macho Man Randy Savage, check him out. Got some good XP there, and again 13,000 silver and the 22,000 with the premium account. So yeah, you know, they're solid tanks, and I'm going to show you guys what it is that I like about them, why I think they're very good all-rounders, and why I think they're the best suited to new players. So if you've enjoyed this, and if you think you'd like to see more of this, then do let me know. As always guys, I hope you're all still keeping safe, and I will see you out there.